Big shows. Hit the button there. Scotty's here, just like last night. Ricky's here.
I am.
You look fired up tonight. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Dog hunt spade?
No, just I'm fine. I'm good.
Universal put out some bad news.
No, they didn't. They put out good news. Hot butterbeer is here for all the time now. I'm so happy about that.
Hot butterbeer?
Yes.
Dude, hot butterbeer is the best.
Hot butterbeer
in
is
July.
It's the only butterbeer I've had, actually.
It's the only butterbeer I like. That's not like the food types of butterbeer, but like hot butterbeer is like the ish. It's so good. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Yes.
It sounds gross.
No, it's amazing. It's kind of like
it's better than LeFou's brew.
Oh, 100%. It's kind of like a vanilla butterscotchy version of hot chocolate.
See, I don't like butterscotch at all. That's why I don't.
But it doesn't really taste like butterscotch because I don't really like butterscotch.
I just pound those things.
I do too. The hot butterbeer is the best. It's more
but
vanilla.
It's not cheap either, though.
No, but I could go for it. It's more vanilla. And I'm mad because I was there a couple weeks ago and I didn't know they had hot butterbeer still at the time. Otherwise, I would have gone over there and gotten some. And yeah,
it's worth the annual pass just for butterbeer.
I know, right? Just butterbeer.
Your pass.
Yeah. The gardeners actually don't care for Universal very much.
Yeah.
Same.
That's all right. I understand. I mean, I get it. I don't.
It's more Elizabeth. It's more Elizabeth. Like she refuses to go over there. Basically.
Gotcha.
She's a smart woman.
No. It's a lovely place.
Their hotels are really nice. I'll give them that.
They have amazing hotels.
It's not for me unless I could just write ET all the time. I like ET.
I know you do.
Extraterrestrial. Okay, let me find a question here. And MLB Network has this commercial that has that song "All by Myself" playing all the time, and I keep singing that to myself constantly. Oh my god,
that's funny.
Because you're in the basement all by yourself.
Oh, actually, I haven't even worked in the basement since I've come back from my surgery. I've been working at the kitchen table, even though I could come downstairs. I'm just like, why? I just sit at the kitchen table because it's nice outside.
Speaking like Universal, so like our theme park that we went to growing up is Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio, and like they had their opening weekend, and I heard it was a disaster.
Oh no!
It was so bad. Like,
that's not good.
Do they require like reservations? Because even our Six Flags,
that's what they're trying. They're trying to like mimic kind of like what Universal and like Disney do, but like it was just not organized at all. From what I was reading on Twitter, just makes me laugh.
That stinks. Yeah,
Six Flags is doing a good job. I mean, I follow them on Instagram.
Well,
have you seen anything?
So I went to our Six Flags because we have a pass now, and it was. I mean, I went last year, and it was definitely when you're supposed to social distance, definitely when you're supposed to be wearing masks, like all that stuff, and like people were certainly not social distancing, and I was like, I just want you to get away from me. So the park was packed. Like we left, we rode 2 rides, and I was like, no, I'm done. I can't do this. So
you still ride the Screaming Eagle at St. Louis?
Yeah.
Dude, that thing beats the. I rode that last year. I think 2 years ago went out before this started happening.
Yeah.
The thing is so rough.
It is.
I cannot take it anymore. Like I'd rather ride a bull. Like
I ride all of it.
How did I ride that thing? Like it's so rough.
I ride all of it. Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I ride just about any coaster.
We're significantly younger than you, man.
That's I know. I feel on that dang thing because it used to be back in the day because it was built in like the 70s. It was the fastest roller coaster in the world and the tallest.
Yeah.
It's not.
So, Mike, we needed. I won't say what year it is on the show right now, but you and I have epic birthdays because we're born like 10 years apart, basically, almost exactly. So. In a few years, you and I have epic years coming up that end in 0. We should totally like do like some crazy trip.
Actually,
we totally need to. Yeah, absolutely. That's 100%. Yes.
I think we have the same year.
No. I'm 83.
Me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're part of that too.
I am. Yes. Yes.
2023.
Yikes.
Yeah. And I was gonna say something about that. Oh. So I listened to not Wedway, Matt's show 3020
with Kevin and
I listened to that today. They did about the golf resort, dude. I'm so ready to play golf down there now. It was
so
all
ready.
Golfing, dude.
Did Wade message you today at all?
Huh?
Did Wade send you a text today?
No.
He sent me a text of him and his boys like golfing like in Hawaii. He's like this isn't too bad for a Monday, and I'm like, oh.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pumped up because they were talking about, Shades of Green, basically, back when it was a golf resort, but they talk about.
Well, I mean, that's what we're playing. We're playing that.
We're playing the Palm or the Magnolia.
I think I chose the
Magnolia.
The one I chose is the one that has the famous Mickey bunker on the par 3.
Yes.
Like you have to carry some water, and it has like this huge Mickey bunker.
Sweet.
I think it's. I don't know. Find out.
I got to hit some balls out of Top Golf though, so I can be ready.
We got a Top Golf up here.
Yep. They're fun. I mean, even if you're not a golf guy, I just went because Mallory went there for a birthday or something with some friends. And like, dude, you don't have to be a golfer. It's just fun because like you don't have to do anything. Like you just wave your club there and the ball pops out on the tee and wham. Like you don't have to get over. It's crazy.
Dude, I love the reservation says you'll be playing on this date at Disney's Magnolia, Palm, and Oak Trail Golf Course. Which one?
Oh my gosh.
The thing you sent me had a golf course. I want to say it was the Palm, but maybe it was Magnolia. But I'm pumped because I've always wanted to play over there because that's where the PGA used to play.
Yeah.
Not that I'm good at golf. It'll be terrible. But
yeah. So they're all hard in their own way. Like LBV was challenging as heck, but these other ones have like 200 bunkers. Like I think the one we're playing has like 12 of the 18 holes has water. So
dude, just doing that because I have to buy like 24.
I'm telling you right now, I'm either packing balls or I'm renting a car like I normally do, and I'm going to Target and getting some balls.
Hey, don't get me some X outs for those water holes because those balls were expensive.
Yeah.
Like not the expensive, no, not the cheap ones, but those are expensive though.
No, they gave us the cheap, expensive one. I call them the cheap, expensive because they were like Top Flight or something.
But they're cheap. We're not cheap. Whatever.
Yeah.
Ooh, half price Tuesdays at Top Golf.
I'm so pumped.
Yes, it is half price Tuesdays.
I didn't know that.
It's 7:03. 7:03 is the tee time because we got to beat the heat. We have to beat the heat,
because they'll take us. We're playing 18, right? So they'll take us forever. We won't be done till noon.
I mean, if it's just the three of us, or if Wade joined, like we'll play quick. I feel like we'll play ready golf, and then we got to get our Rise boarding group shortly before that because we'll be at the studios later that day too.
Yes. Yeah, get the board. Yeah, they'd be like, hang on, we can't tee off. Got to get the boarding. Okay. I can't wait till the summer. It's so close now. It's getting there. Okay, so
Ricky, it's Lansing Day, by the way. 517, our area code. So shout out to Lansing, right?
Oh, okay. Good for you.
Shout out. What's Atlanta's area code?
There's
I got a bunch
of them. 678 is one of them.
So you can't celebrate 678.
You have 414 though, I think, or something like that.
No, we have 4 something. I don't know.
Or something because I have a lot of guests in Atlanta.
I don't have an Atlanta phone number. No. Oh, good. Daisy decides to chime in.
Wonderful.
It's fine.
Let me hit this. All right. Let us do questions. So ask questions in the chat, please.
Let's see. 404-770.
Yep, 770. I do that one a lot.
Yeah, 404-470-678. Yeah, those are the ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Your dog done?
Nah, maybe.
You drinking water.
Dude. I know. Mike Roman drinking water.
So put a wedge of lemon in it. And it gives a little bit of zing. So it's way better if you put a little, just cut a lemon wedge and drop in there.
Yeah. A lot of places do that. Like, spas. They'll put in lime.
A Diet Coke. Like because if I don't have Coke Zero, I ask for Diet Coke with lemon. Give it a little zip. But yeah, water with lemon's pretty good. Oh, and Karen's in Lansing right now, by the way.
That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to Karen.
Yep. Have fun.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
We need questions in the chat, people. Okay, here we go. Welcome to episode 1901 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rahman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hopefully you're having a great week again. It looks like at least here in the Midwest and the, I know up where Scott is too, the weather is kind of churning warmer finally. We've been kind of in not a deep freeze, but it's been chilly for the spring here over the past couple of weeks. So I'm excited to get outside and have some fun. And when the warm weather hits in the spring, that always means one thing. I'm getting ready to go to Walt Disney World this summer. And I'm under 60 days. Cannot wait. Yacht Club and Caribbean Beach for me this summer. Can't wait to do that split stay and have some fun and play some golf. We're going to have a good time down there this summer. So joining me today, as always, from the mouseforless.com, we have Ricky. Ricky, how's it going on this Wednesday?
This Wednesday is going good. Just getting some last minute packing and stuff like that done so I can head to Walt Disney World this weekend. So this weekend's good.
What is on the agenda for you this weekend other than putting a little sunscreen on that nose? You got to keep your nariz there from getting sunburned now. You got.
I know, because you know what? When I went down a couple weeks ago to the ride the Velocicoaster, I definitely got a little sunburn. Whoops. And the funny part was that I had sunscreen with me, so that was my bad. But yeah, no. I'm staying at the Grand Floridian. Just throwing that out there. Because
you like to say that you've over the past few years. I mean, and this time it is not. There's nothing to do with Florence Porter.
This time it is not Florence Porter's fault. I'm staying there on my own accord. I am paying for it myself. And I use that in quotes because I'm really paying to stay at Grand Destino. But, you know, when Disney says, hey, you want to stay at the Grand Floridian instead? I'm like, yeah, sure I do. So I'm paying for the Grand Floridian experience with Grand Destino money. So
it's so interesting because I've seen on social media a lot of folks are getting this upgrade from Resort A to Grand Floridian. So they really must be, having a hard time booking the Grand right now. And
yeah,
it's interesting because I've seen guests even in values getting bumped up to the Grand, and I've seen that, you probably saw like people were having this debate, right? Okay, say you're a family with like 2 kids, 7 and 4. Right. And all of a sudden the kids, you get moved to the Grand Floridian, right? The parents are like, woohoo, and I just hit the jackpot. But a kid, right? I mean, does he want to stay in grandma's attic? I don't know. I'm just playing.
See, I don't know. It's become a resort that I actually like over the past years. I agreed with you at first. It does have a bit of a stuffy feel, and I still kind of get that.
I used to think that. I stayed there that one time for the media thing, and it's totally just a regular hotel with really nice amenities.
100%. Yes, exactly. I think once you stay there, you get it a little bit more, but I understand that initial feeling of, oh my gosh, this resort is so stuffy and uppity, but it's really not. And when you've walked around in the main lobby in your swimsuit, you're fine, which I've done before. So yeah,
that makes it real. Okay.
Yes.
So also joining us, we have a pinch hitter again tonight. Pam Forrester is in the middle of a big move, which is very exciting for her, but kind of difficult when one of the things she had to move at recording time was her Wi-Fi routers. Mm-hmm. So we have our good friend #Scotty G from up in the mitten, and it is Lansing Day up where he is in his neck of the woods, at least when we're recording. So what's up, Scott?
Hey, happy 517 day. I happen to be hitting again, Mike. Did you say, by the way, this is episode 1901?
Yes.
Holy cow. So I remember the 1000th episode.
Oh my gosh.
That was Star Wars weekend, race weekend, the first time.
Wow.
And you and I were down there, Mike. We bunked in Coronado, I believe. And I remember I got I'm celebrating 1000 BOGP episode.
That's right.
So
that's right.
I'm down for Memorial Day weekend. It might be a little premature, but I'm going to get I'm celebrating 2000 BOGP episodes.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yes, get that for us. And if not, I'll get it when we're there in July because we'll be right around there. So yeah, that'll be exciting. Man, it's been a lot of fun though. You mentioned, we're creeping up on the 2000 episode milestone, which is pretty. It makes me smile because we've had so much fun and we've got to.
It's probably more like 3,000 when you think about the live shows,
right?
Or do you count those now?
Well, no, I do count those. Actually, we're about 4 away from 2,000 episodes. Like if you look at how many shows we put out, like April Fools and like updates, and we didn't used to count the live shows back in the day when we did them on Live 365. So anyway, but it's been a journey and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I just smile because we get to do this and we've done this for 13 years. It's been a blast. So all right, well let's hop into the listener question because we have here in the live chat, and actually I have one here actually in the inbox. It came in today, and this one says, hello, amazing BOGP crew. We just booked a cruise for next summer with the help of a fabulous Magic for Less travel agent. Thanks, Mike. Thank you, Stephanie. We are DVC members, and we're thinking about taking advantage of staying at a resort or two for a few nights before and after the cruise. My question is this. Previously, we've driven down to Port Canaveral the day before and spent the night before the cruise there instead of staying the night before at Walt Disney World and driving down the day of. What do you all prefer to do the night before a cruise and why? Either way, we'll be at Walt Disney World a night or two before as well. Thanks for making my commutes more fun, Stephanie. So we've all been in, this is a great one for, even Pam was here, obviously she would be great at it too, but we've all been in this situation where, you have a cruise, but you're so close to Walt Disney World, you bookend it. Like you do a night or two before, after, sometimes both. Pros and cons though of staying at a Walt Disney World resort before the cruise and then heading over to Port Canaveral. I will say here's the advantage to staying at Port Canaveral, which I would stay at Walt Disney World. This is what I usually do. But if you stay at Port Canaveral, there are some just regular old hotels like a Residence Inn. There's, just kind of go on Expedia or something. But it's kind of fun to go over to either Jetty Park or maybe have dinner at Fish Lips. I like Fish Lips, but there's a couple other places right there in Port Canaveral where you can, get some seafood, just some like bar food, drinks and stuff, and you watch the ships go by. And I mean, nothing gets you more amped up for your cruise the next day than seeing all the ships leave the day before. That's the advantage. But of course, Walt Disney World has tons more advantages. So Scott, what do you say to Stephanie about, she's got DVC points, it sounds like, maybe burning a couple on a couple nights before the cruise?
Yeah, so I've done both actually. So the last BOGP podcast cruise in 2019, we went to MCO and we just flew past Walt Disney World. We went straight to Port Canaveral and stayed there. And I tell you, Mike, as a runner, and I think you remember talking about this, that morning I ran and I could just see the Dream like already like docked, man. It was such a cool run just seeing it out there. So, but there's benefits, to being at Walt Disney World. You can like eat at familiar restaurants, maybe possibly if you're an annual pass holder, hop into a park before the cruise. It just kind of sparks the vacation, being at Walt Disney World first. And that's probably what I would recommend. The con, though, would be you never know what type of traffic. If my good friend Pam Forster was here right now, she would say, you can't be late for that ship, right? Mm-hmm. So the safest move is to stay as close to the ship the night before. I mean, Walt Disney World is fairly decently close, and there shouldn't ever be any issues with traffic. But the safe route would be to stay in Port Canaveral. But I do like the idea of the DVC before. I know I just gave like yes to both answers. I didn't really give a definitive answer there.
Okay. And I think that's what we do, though. We would just give things to think about. And, we've done, with our families, a lot of times for these cruises, we've, rented private transfers instead of Disney Cruise Line transfers, because when you have kind of and I know there are only a couple, but when you have a larger group, it kind of makes sense by the time you buy all these transfers at like $40 a person each way. Like we've rented, a limo one time. We rented like a party bus one time.
I'll never forget the time there was like a suitcase on top of you and Pam Forster on the ride back.
That limo was not as fun as a limo. The party bus, however, with the mirror ball and the lights and everything, sweet move. Fun. And it wasn't even that much more expensive, really. I think it ended up being like maybe $50 total than using Disney Cruise Line, transfers. And we were rolling like rock stars down whatever the B line or whatever that was. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
But you can do that to say, I know there's parking at Port Canaveral. I mean, I guess there's parking at Walt Disney World, but if you're a DVC member, you don't have to. That'd be weird to leave your car though at a DVC resort. I don't think you can really do that.
Yeah, they do not want you. And the thing is too about like I've parked at Port Canaveral, dude. It is expensive because I used to have my trailer back in those days when I was scared to fly, and I had to get 2 spots. Oh my god, I was like, you gotta be kidding me! What it costs? But then you're always tempted because you see the billboards on the way in, like park here, and they'll shuttle you over. But I mean, that place looks like you'll get back from your cruise, your car will be gone. Like, I don't worry about my car being like missing when I get back from the ship. Yeah. So I don't, Ricky, what about you? Because you're close. You've probably driven in or you stayed at Walt Disney World. How do you do for cruises?
Well, I follow the Pam Forster method. So I at least come in the night before. Now that sometimes that does involve me driving down the night before. But I have my booty in the state of Florida, at least the night before. So
please be in Central Florida, at least Central Florida, because you're within striking distance of a vehicle. Like,
absolutely.
That's my rule for my guests. Please.
Absolutely.
Don't be in Atlanta the night before the cruise.
No, do not. Yeah. No, that makes me nervous too. Yeah. So, I mean, I've done it both ways too, where I've done a pre Disney vacation before. I've done the post Disney vacation after. So, I mean, I'm always a fan of adding on the, Disney World portion to whether, so I say yes, add it on, let it be up to you whether you do it beforehand or after. But, I mean, there's a lot of fun things you can do beforehand. You don't even have to go into the parks. You can, go to Disney Springs and hang out there. You can do things like maybe if you have a little bit of time in the day, go to the water park, or you can go to mini golf or things like that too. So you don't even have to go into the parks. You can just enjoy the time at the hotel, for goodness sakes. I mean, it just depends on, what hotel you're staying at and, the kind of amenities that they have too. But, there's just a ton of things that you can do beforehand. So I would always say, heck yeah, go stay at Walt Disney World beforehand.
Yeah. And I would just say, I forgot to mention this earlier though, like I think my final answer would be use the DVC points, because as a DVC member, you see it's very hard to get a lot of consecutive days in a row on points because it just books so crazy. This is a great chance to like, all right, I'm going to get a night here, and you were going to switch resorts no matter what anyway. So that's a great use of your points because you're going to have to check out anyway. So you're booking like one night with your points. I think would work really well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
it's exciting to be at Walt Disney World too, because like even though Magical Express right now as it kind of wraps up, she's still using Disney Cruise Line buses. Sometimes you see in your hotel. I always get excited when I see that model of the ship, no matter where I'm. Like Coronado Springs, right? It's kind of down by El Mercado, and like when I see that Disney Cruise Line model, I'm just like, oh man, I wish I was going on a cruise. And when I am, I'm like, yeah, I'll be on a cruise tomorrow. So
I always take a photo of the model of the ship in the lobby.
Yeah,
because they have them in every lobby.
Same. But I will. The Space Coast is fun if you're kind of a space geek and like 60s history. It's because, like you said, that one time we stayed on Cocoa Beach, and I did that morning before the cruise. I ran the beach. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to run on the beach. And,
I know it's fun though.
Dude, it's super hard to judge how far you've gone on the beach too. Like,
that's true.
It looks like it's short. I ran almost all the way up to where you could see. I ran to where you could see the ship, and we were down in like a cheapo hotel the Apollo astronauts used to, or the Mercury astronauts used to own. So it was like a La Quinta. It was not a good hotel, but it had history, so that's why I was there. All right, let's rapid fire here some of these questions. Tammy's asking, why is it so hard to get resort reservations for June? Yeah, this is the case from what I'm seeing with the travel agency. And I think it's just that people have confidence in going. Vacations have been canceled and June is just prime travels. This is like the first beginning of school being out, everything opening up. And, I will tell you, I got to tell you this. I mean, I've been booking a lot since the mask mandate changed. And I'll tell you what I've been selling like a beer vendor at Busch Stadium is Memory Maker. Memory makers like they're hot dogs, man. Who wants a memory maker? You want a memory maker? Everybody's buying memory makers now. I mean, it's because hey, it's a lot easier to get pictures.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I think part of the problem too with getting resort reservations is the fact that not all the resorts are open. Right. I mean, there's a good portion of the Walt Disney World Resort hotels that are still closed. You've got a few of them that are opening up here soon. We have Beach Club opening up here, Wilderness Lodge,
Boardwalk.
Boardwalk. That's the other one. I was like, I know there's one more. But you have moderates that are still closed, and both Port Orleans resorts. I think aren't some of the values still closed too? Most aren't sports and music or movies? No, music. Music
is the only open one.
Music, yeah.
Music is open.
So I mean, you have those problems too, in the sense of like there aren't as many resorts that are actually open for guests. I think that they are calling back the Disney College program kids, so I think that will help. Again, I think we're still going to have this problem as Disney is still having trouble hiring people back too. I mean, as everyone is have problems hiring people back. So until they can get a more full workforce, we're still going to have these issues where you're not going to have as many resorts open yet because they can't staff them so properly. So until they really get to a point where they can staff the resorts properly, you're going to have these issues of making it hard to get resort reservations because there's just not people there to run the hotel.
Agreed. And this next question from Karen, who's always here in our live chat with us, which I really appreciate. She says, what are your predictions for when the rest of the restaurants will reopen? And Scott and I talked about this on Sunday night, how this is critical because they immediately, along with the mask announcement, which everybody was, excited about making that got all the headlines, but they said they immediately increased capacity.
Yes.
Which, if you've been down there anytime recently, you can still eat. But we talked about how if you're a veteran Walt Disney World traveler, it's kind of unsettling because a lot of the places you want to go to may not still be open. Like when I'm at Magic Kingdom, it's Columbia Harbor House and Casey's. So I got to really rethink, okay, I'm going to go to Cosmic Rays or Pecos Bill, get a mobile order. But like you said, college program kids coming back,
yes,
lends itself to dining opening up.
And that's been part of my problem too, because I am going down this weekend and I have had a hard time finding, dining. I understand, especially with people who have like established places that they like to go, having, you do have to think outside the box a little bit for dining, dine at off times or, dine earlier or whatever to find the restaurant that you're really into. A lot of Disney Springs restaurants are open. I can tell you that. Like if you want to go to Disney Springs for dining, you are good to go. I mean,
37, baby. Anytime you want.
You'd have to go there every single night if you wanted a table service meal for sure. But, I mean, you definitely can find dining at Disney Springs. But again, there are two things here as well. One is the fact that they have to hire back cast members. The second thing is the fact that Disney is still doing social distancing in their restaurants. So you're still going to have issues getting dining for right now because they are still keeping guests apart from each other in restaurants. So the number of seats that are available are still not as many as there would have been before too. So that's not, until they can fix that issue, both those issues, dining is still going to be a bit of a challenge at table service restaurants. Counter service, they might be able to add some more back into when they add the college program kids, but that's the problem.
Service is where the college program kids usually are, and there's some, obviously in the table service. But you're right. I think quick service is what we need probably more than table service. Like in the short term, like in the very short, like early summer, we need like a Columbia Harbor House to suck up people, in a Casey's to get nuggets. Oh, that's just me.
Yeah.
Whatever. Corn dog nuggets are the bomb.
I mean, they still have corn dog nuggets. You just have to go to a cart right now.
Taste like baseball. You know what I'm saying? Like they taste like baseball.
I understand. Yes.
It's like seventh inning stretch. All right, here's one for Scott. And this is just, we get a lot of speculation on today's show, but that's what we're asking here in the chat. Zach is asking, he's heading down for the 4th of July. With the new mask updates, what are your thoughts on the chance of fireworks? I know it's a long shot, but fun to speculate.
Man, it seems like they're trying to set it up right for 4th of July. I mean, that's a quick turnaround, but I'm going to tell you this. And I've been saying this all along. I think the fireworks is not necessarily a social distancing or a mask thing. It's a cost savings thing. Valid. And it depends on the capacity. If they're making the money, then the fireworks will come back. If they're still scrapping to make profit, the fireworks are going to be delayed because it costs a lot of money to do those shows every night. Or this is what I was telling Elizabeth this weekend. I'm glad you asked me this question, Mike. Disneyland used to do like fireworks like on the weekends. Maybe they'll do just weekend shows like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and maybe throw like a random Wednesday in there. Maybe not do them every single night. That's what I'm hoping for.
That's an idea. Yeah, that they could do that. Or they add it back into something. I know they're doing the Boo Bash, but they could say, ta-da, we've added fireworks in. If you pay the extra money to come to the Boo Bash, you can see the fireworks, so they're getting a little bit of that money back. Because like you said, fireworks they're super expensive. Like
if you're doing them at Epcot and the Magic Kingdom and the studios, I mean, like that's 3 nights a week. Maybe there's a rotation too. Maybe you do Epcot on Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, or something. And Magic Kingdom are the other nights. I don't know. Just a thought. What do you think, Mike? I don't think you like my answer.
No, I don't think he does.
I don't know. I mean, I think July 4th is actually too soon. Like I think I would say by August 1st though, Harmonious is going to be testing, and
I've heard rumors that Epcot Forever may be coming back.
I've heard that too, and I'm fine with that. I can't go to bed without fireworks. Dude, I've been trained. Like the thing was, I used to be trained with a parade and fireworks, right? Magic Kingdom, Spectre Magic Wishes, boom, and okay, time to go to bed, Mike. I'm like in a tizzy right now. There's so many things that are wrong. Like going in Epcot at 11 o'clock just throws me off. Like, dude, my day's half over. Oh,
no, it's awesome.
We talked about that last night too on the live college show. It's my whole like being is messed up right now. I got to get back to like my 9 o'clock some fireworks, or 10 o'clock some fireworks, 9 o'clock throw a parade in. If you really want to stay up late, 11 o'clock parade again. Oh my God, those are the good old days. I just got to get back. I don't know. I think they really want to. I mean, Harmonious is going to happen. It's going to happen by October 1st. I think probably before, because they're doing a lot of testing, but who knows?
Oh yeah, they're doing a ton of testing.
I don't think they're going to do 4th of July though. I just think the thing is, like, we're getting there. Like with the mask changing, the policies and stuff like that. Alfred's asking about that. We talked about that a lot on Sunday night, so that'll be on the show tomorrow on the feed for the replay. But the thing is, like, if you have fireworks, especially on the 4th of July, it's like moths to a flame, right? I mean, you could just, all bets are off at that point. It's turned into Epcot on New Year's Eve, which they still don't want. Like things are moving in the right direction, but you just like the 4th of July. I mean, it would just be,
Oh, it's a nut house anyway.
Do it on like July 11th, like start the fireworks up, like take baby steps. Like Scott said, maybe a couple nights a week. 4th of July, dude, that's just asking.
Well, that's why they had to do the delayed opening last year. Like you and I might kept thinking like, oh, maybe we can get down there for 4th of July. But like, I think it was smart because they didn't open until like July 18th or something like that.
15th.
I think they just wanted to get away, put July 4th behind them, right?
Yes,
and I think it's the same way
agreed.
with the fireworks too.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I mean, yeah, would it be awesome? It'd be totally awesome. It'd be too. The problem is, it'd be too awesome. Like they're just the fireworks on the 4th of July are unbelievable. Like the ground shakes. Like I mean, I go there for the 4th of July because it's unbelievable. But they just,
and Disney listens to the show, Mike. They know we're not going to be there for 4th of July, so they wouldn't do that to us.
Yeah, whatever. We'll see. Yeah, they do listen. Okay, Tammy's got a question. Better to go down the first week after school lets out of the 4th of July weekend. Okay, here's my. You want a hot tip? I'll give you.
Yes, Mike has a hot tip on this one.
First of all, it depends when you're out of school, and even here in the Midwest, Pam doesn't get out this year till June 3rd, and I think Mallory doesn't get out till June 4th because we had so many snow days this winter. Like they actually had to make them up. They're just sitting there watching movies. Don't let anybody fool you. Because I used to be a teacher, right? But they got to be there because they get money for the kids being there. Anyway, this is my teacher thing. The week after the 4th of July, and I've been doing this for about a decade, and I don't know why, and don't screw this up for me, but it's typically there's not bad crowds. Like you can tag on the 4th of July and maybe stay till like the 10th or the 11th. That week that I'm going the 7th to the 15th. I don't know why, but I've never had big crowds that week for some reason. I guess maybe because people go on the 4th and then go home, and maybe they wait a little bit. And I think a lot of people go right as school is getting out, right? You're looking forward to it. You get down, you get your vacation over with and all that stuff. But I like that week after the 4th. I don't know. What would you say Tammy's kids get out at the end of May? What would you do, Scott? Because I know like up where they go to school pretty late, and on the East Coast, they go to like mid-June.
Yeah, we've talked about this for a while, even on the show, Mike. Like summer, it's hot down there, and I think that takes a lot of people away, like, well, I want to go when the weather's going to be a little bit better, so like I've been saying this for years that's the time to go. If you want low crowds, you go in the middle of summer, you go in July after 4th of July. So that's what I like. It's just, if you go the first week after school versus mid-July, I think it's going to be hot no matter what when you go. So I think mid-July is where I would go. And
I think a lot of people are amped up at the beginning, right after they get out of school, they're like, yeah, let's go on our family vacation. I feel like as the summer wanes on, that excitement for summer vacation kind of slowly dies down. And then you've got things like getting back into school activities. And then, you've got school coming back up. So you got to get prepared.
Yeah. By the way, it should be illegal for commercials, like for back to school, like Gap commercials or like Old Navy commercials to happen before August 1st. Like you're out of school, like as a teacher, like I was out of school for like 2 weeks and all of a sudden I'm seeing back to school commercials. Like
the problem is that back to school for a lot of places, they're back like that first week of August. So I know. That's what I'm saying.
Commercials. I'm just saying. Go ahead though. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I hate that.
No, you're fine. But that's what I'm saying. Like, those kids are thinking about going back to school at the end of July, because they got to go back the first week of August, or whatever. So I feel like you're right. Like July is really a decent time to go because everybody's either a lot of people have had their summer vacations already, or they're getting ready to go back into school, and get ready to go back to daily life again. So I feel like you're right.
And I just love it at nighttime in the summer. It's so much fun. You crash at the pool, you take a nap, you enjoy all that pool time, and then you come back when the sun is set, it's dark, the lights are all lit up in Tomorrowland. It's summertime, and not like that is like one of my favorite moments, like nighttime in summer.
It is. You really get to say, and in normal times, almost everything's open. Everything's open late, and you slow down. I mean, you still get a lot done because you have the opportunity to like get up early, take a nap, swim, go back.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty good. All right. Next question we have so many questions in here. I shouldn't have. I asked, and boy, we got them. How about this one from Carla? Is a split stay for one night at a deluxe like the Poly worth it? Or would you do a minimum of 2 nights for a split stay? Quickly, my thoughts on this. For deluxe, because she's asking for deluxe, like the Polynesian. I did this once with the Beach Club. I like to do it as kind of an add-on, like at the end of a stay. Like say I'm staying for like 5 nights. I might stay at my other resort 4. So I might do like a Pop Century for 4 nights. And then on that last night, I'll do Beach Club and like stay at Stormalong Bay all day. I get all my park time, all that stuff out of the way when I'm staying at Pop. And then I have that to look forward to. It doesn't make the end of the trip so sad because I'm going to Beach Club. I'm going to stay at Stormalong Bay. I'm going to have a good time. That's what I like to do. But what are your thoughts, Ricky? What about the 2 nights minimum if you're going to stay at a deluxe for a split, or is 1 night? Can you get it done?
I mean, I think if you're going to be going into the parks, maybe 2 nights is probably good. But if you're going to just, hang out at the resort that last day or whatever, 1 day should be fine if that's what you can do. So, I mean, I'll never poo-poo someone's, idea of, oh, do I stay 1 night or 2? You stay whatever you can or want to stay. So, I mean, if you want to stay just 1 night, go for it. I see nothing wrong with it. But if you want to, stay 2, go for that too. So I have no problem with either one, to be honest. And if that's all I can stay is 1 night, I'm staying the 1 night.
Just let me know that Ricky in this one episode has said booty and poo-poo the same show. So, not that I'm paying attention, but I keep track of stuff like that. I don't know. Scott, what about you on splits? Because we all do, all 3 of us.
So I like what Ricky said, like do whatever you're comfortable with or do whatever you can do to make it, right? If you can only do the 1 night, then definitely do the 1 night. I'm sitting in Pam's seat tonight. So I got to say, like, her and I align on a lot of things. It's got to be 2 nights because you can't. A lot of times your room isn't going to be ready till like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. It almost feels like a cruise line where your first day of a cruise, it's like all crazy. You're trying to get your luggage in there. Like it's hard to enjoy that first night, I feel like. So that's why I say
I agree with that. And then you have to get out early in the next morning. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that too. Yeah.
Yep. Diane and Holly both agree 2 nights. So there you go. Yeah, that makes sense. Because you're right. You want to get to feel the place, wake up and have the next day. Yeah, that's good. And then get booted out. Let's see here. How about this one from Mike? I haven't seen Mike here in the chat very much, so thanks for joining us today. Time for the return of Fast Pass. Amen, brother.
You got the wrong crew with you today.
You got the wrong crew, Mike.
Those 3 little words, bring back Fast Pass, favorited by a lot of people on Twitter.
Nope.
And then I had to have, and then now Susie,
I saw that you stirred a lot of conversation with that tweet today.
I'm saying, Susie wants to have the great debate with me and Ricky and have Pam moderate, which we'll have to maybe do that at some point. But yeah, I get it because I was actually having the debate with Brian and another person last night on Twitter about this, and I see the points. Like statistically, I see that the wait times will be shorter. Globally.
I mean, look,
globally, but I would rather have 3 attractions I can roll up like a rock star and forget everything else. I'm fine.
No, but I'm going, like I said, I'm going down this weekend. I will have firsthand experience of, the crowds are increasing. We know that the crowds have been increased. And the fact that there is no Fast Pass and they are now allowing more people onto attractions right now. So that was my whole point before, was the fact that lines were long before because they weren't loading every seat on an attraction. Once we start getting to that point where we're really optimizing the number of people that we can have on attractions, Fast Pass is not as necessary as you think it is. I know, Mike, you are so like addicted to having Fast Pass because you like those 3. You're still going to get on those 3 attractions either way. Like you may have to wait in line for that same 15-20 minutes that you would have had to wait with Fast Pass, but the standby line is going to be moving at this point. So you're not going to be stuck waiting for your turn.
It's a safety net for my guests that I book with the Magic for Less that are going like once a year or like once a lifetime. Like they can know that every day they're going to get on 3 headliner attractions with no or short waits, and
they should still be able to get on it.
Safety. I don't want to debate it here because we're on questions.
I know.
I mean, you're right. You're exactly right. I get it. I mean, I know, but I mean, I just like that. I don't know. I was like rolling up. Anyway, so what was the question? Anyway, Mike, thank you, Mike. Here it is. He says, so I guess he's asking theoretically if Disney brought back Fast Pass as it was when it went away. Because we don't know. It could turn as a max pass, pay for play system. I mean, who knows? I mean, I would guess maybe that'll happen. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not smart enough to guess what they're doing. But how much lead time do you think they would need to get it back up and running? I mean, could they say, what do you think, Scott? Like, could they say, not make an announcement next Monday and say that, we're bringing back Fast Pass July 1st. I mean,
you can probably get it back up and running. I mean, you got to give people time to book the fast passes, right? On my Disney experience, I feel like you want to be kind of fair there in some way. Like, I don't know, they're not going to be able to please everyone on this, but just make sure the queues are set to handle. Like, I know they're limiting the social distancing is being reduced from 6 feet to 3. So you're going to be able to store more people in a fast pass queue because of that. Because I think that's part of the problem is like. Fast pass queues will just explode if they start.
Well, because they didn't have anywhere for them to go.
Exactly.
I mean, the queues were already shorter because of the fact that they were fast pass queues, so they didn't need to have as much line.
But if they could just figure out the logistics of the queues and monitoring that, they could fire that bad boy up right now.
I agree.
So I mean, the model would be what they did with the theme park reservation system, which shocked me. Like, I mean, as a travel agent, as a Disney fan, both. Like, they're just like, okay, make theme park reservations from now till eternity. Like,
I know it's so weird, isn't it?
It's so weird. I mean, it was just like, from now till eternity, you could make a theme park. It was such a huge day. You thought it'd be like a short window or something.
But it'd be kind of cool that it would line with your dining, though. That's one thing that's kind of always stinks. 180 days for dining, 60 for fast pass. You make them both 60. Like, you can try to. It'll be easier to kind of make your plans that way. I feel like.
I agree.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't like the 60 idea because they feel like they have to then make their fast passes and their dining in the same day, and then they have to choose which one they do first.
Ideally 70 and 60 or 65. It's probably not ideal they be the same day, but
I like the 70 idea for dining, and then if they add fast pass, actually I think they should do 60 for dining and 30 for fast pass.
Some people are saying fast pass is 60 for on-site, 30 for
it is
that's what it is, right?
Normally,
that's what it was before.
That's what it was before. Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Okay,
but I think concierge may have like 75 days or something crazy like that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
So who knows? Let's cross that. Like my grandpa used to say, let's cross that bridge when it comes.
Yep.
All right. Don says, given the direction things are going, you think we'll see Port Orleans open soon? And Scott and I actually talked about this a little bit on Sunday night as well. I think the need is greatest right now of any of the resorts to open. Riverside first and Riverside French Quarter combined, I think would be the ideal situation because it's a moderate, and value folks might splurge and go up to a Riverside if there's no availability, and folks that are looking for a deluxe might compromise and give a shot to a Riverside or a French Quarter if there's no availability at their resorts. I don't know, Ricky, what do you think with all the news? I mean, do you think, let's say this, do you think we'll see Port Orleans open before October 1st?
I given where they are right now in announcing hotel reopenings, they have like a lead time of at least a month or two. It's possible we could see it before October 1st. I think that it would be smart to do it before October 1st. But again, like I talked about before, it's really going to depend on if they can get the workforce to be there. That I think that's really a lot of the issue is, can we get the workforce?
Right. I agree. So, but I mean, you can get them. You just got to, it's all about pay, right? I mean, there's to get people to work, but we got to get there. And I mean, like right now, Lisa's saying like we need Riverside for families of 5. I agree, right? We talked about that. There's limited choices for families larger than 4. Rhonda's like a missed French Quarter. I mean, French Quarter is a super popular resort and it's small. And so that would be like Riverside and French Quarter are interesting because I don't know if Disney looks at them as like one resort. They probably do, right? I mean, internally, I bet you they look at it as just like it's one campus.
Yeah.
With 2 different set of themes, kind of this building spread apart. I don't know, but God, if you brought back those, that would be a huge. It would ease this challenge of booking.
It would.
Riverside's so big; it's got a lot of rooms. French Quarter also smallest resort, but it's also a lot of rooms. Period. And then you have, more dining options. And I don't know, Scott, what do you think we'll get? You think we'll get Port Orleans back? Either one?
I feel like it needs to happen. You know, like I feel like it really needs to. I just look at capacity for October 1st and I'm at Pop Century because that was the only thing I could get.
Same.
And I was like way ahead of the game,
Same. Yeah.
So it would be really nice. And if they open up more capacity, which is expected, I feel like we have to open up more rooms. It's just throwing money away basically for Disney too. But
it's true. I think
I don't know.
I think
I feel like the demand is there, though. I really feel that the demand is there. And Mike, I know you see it from the travel agency
I
side.
see that it's there. Yeah, I mean, are they looking at like? Are they trying to book to like their slowest time of the year? They're like looking at September, but I mean, September is even like pretty busy. I mean, we don't have the dining plan. We don't have, September is always driven by free dining.
True.
We don't have a dining plan period right now, and September is strong right now.
I wonder though if it's in relation to the ones that are opening right now. A lot of them are DVC. They have amenities that are already like open. So obviously Boardwalk has already been open with the villas, and Beach Club, the villas have already been open. It's just that now they just have to open up. So they've had like a lot of the amenities that are open. So now they just have to open up the rooms. So I wonder if that's part of the issue too, is like French Quarter and Riverside aren't open for anything. So, don't necessarily need to open those yet, and open the ones that are already kind of halfway open. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So I think they'll continue, because I think Animal Kingdom Lodge is also one that it hasn't officially opened, but Kidani has. So I think that that'll be one of the next ones that goes, actually, as Animal Kingdom Lodge.
My bigger need though than Riverside, and this kind of ties to Riverside, is so that they can open up the Sasagula boat to Disney Springs. I miss that so much.
I know, because when I'm staying at Disney Springs, man, I would have ridden that boat like up and down like all night. That'd have been my thing. But is the one running to Old Key West? I don't think.
No, they're not. From Saratoga or Key West, they haven't been open. I've stayed at Old Key West like 25 nights recently.
That's right.
I'm missing
That's
it.
true. You have.
I gotta laugh because Tim Rogers is always in our live chats. We appreciate him being here, and he says, "How could you have?" Because we were talking about Epcot Forever coming back. How could you have jet skis with that barge? He's exactly right. Maybe the jet ski jumps.
I think they go.
Circles.
Don't they go around the perimeter?
I think so.
So I think that would still work. I think they go around the perimeter. If I remember right, I only saw Epcot Forever in
sounds dangerous.
once. Yeah, I know it does sound dangerous, but that's another show. That's another old attraction.
We talked about this. I talked about this on Twitter as well. I am not convinced that thing in the middle of World Showcase Lagoon is not alive. Because like I saw that video when they were shooting the water, and it's like going.
Yes, it's so cool.
Like it's like a Kraken or something. I mean, that's gonna just, kids are gonna go back to the yacht club. Like their parents gonna pay $500 a night for this room. Their 4-year-old's gonna go back to the yacht club and have nightmares all night. The thing from World Showcase is coming to get me through the International Gateway. Close the door.
Sounds like a new Kingdom Keepers novel or something or what.
Well, Tim also mentions in the chat, wayward barge arm catches a kite. I'm pretty sure when I was there, the show that I caught, one of the kites did get like stuck in something. And I don't know that it got stuck in a tree, but it definitely did not continue flying. And so, I can see that the kite issue would be a problem.
Bring back Epcot Forever. I'll take it. Anyway, let's see. Here we go. Johnny Graham has a question. Heading down in June for a wedding with my wife and 4-month-old. Oh, congratulations. It's also our 10th anniversary. Is Narcoossee's okay with the baby? Meaning, is it a big stuffy? Thanks. I've got Mr. Narcoossee's here with us right now.
Yes, you do.
Is his place. What do you think, Scott?
Take the 4-month-old. It's totally fine. I've been there with big groups where we all acted like 4-month-olds. We got kind of rowdy sometimes, so definitely take the 4-month-old. I mean, it's just whatever it takes to get into Narcoossee's for your 10th anniversary. Congratulations on that, Johnny. That's awesome. And that would be where I would pick for a 10th anniversary meal. Just a great spot to be.
Nice. Jennifer's mentioning that today, as we're recording, is actually the anniversary of the Port Orleans Resort opening. So they could have announced it today.
They could have announced it today. Yep.
Yeah. All right. We have one last question. Again, a little speculation question from Holly in the live chat. She says, do you think we will always have to make a park reservation going forward, or will it ever return to just get up and go to whatever park you feel like that day? Now, I know what I want. I want it to go away. I talk about this with the cast members at Disney Reservations daily because it's really challenging. Just
it is
baseball for you. Let me just, because people are asking about availability. Here's the deal. Now with this system, if there's a day where there are no theme park reservations available, so say you have a day where you cannot get a theme park reservation for Epcot, Magic Kingdom, Studios, or Animal Kingdom, and this happened when I was down there in early May during Cheer. So there's days where there's absolutely zero availability for resort guests in the theme park reservation system. it will not show availability at any resorts for that day either.
Really?
Right. You got to call in and they got to go to guest services and get that squared away. So there's just a heads up on
Wow. That's crazy.
Because I'm like, you kidding me? Like, no, there's just so, because they don't want people to book a hotel
And think that they could stay and then go to the parks.
not be able to go to the theme park, right? But I
Yeah.
mean, if you explain to them like this guest knows, like they're just going to go to the pool that day, they're staying there, they just want to add this day on, then they'll do that. But yeah, so if you're seeing that, that's a little inside
You say they're going to go to Universal that day.
Yeah, exactly.
get up early. Here's the, I mean, I think that this will go away. I mean, I know that Disney likes it, but to be honest, this is a huge hardship on the guest who's planning their trip. That's a huge hardship because if you're not a Disney fan, this is super complicated. It's a hardship on the people that work at the Disney reservation system. I know because I talk to them all the time. It's so hard for them. Travel agents aren't huge fans of this. And it's just, I don't know. We heard this 5 years ago before any of this stuff started happening with, God, it's like having a second job planning a Disney vacation. And like, we've at least doubled the requirements.
No, fast pass. Okay,
right now. Right. No, fast pass are fine. No, I'm not going there. Quit. Anyway, I think it'll go away. I told the cast member just 2 days ago, I said, when this system goes away, I'm going to come down there. We're going to share a drink and we're going to cheers each other that we can just go to where we want to go. But I think it'll be in place because they said at least through 2022. I don't know. Or Scott.
As of right now.
Yeah. Who knows?
I think it's going to go away eventually. I mean, it helps them know for metrics and tracking, right? Like how close are we to capacity? It probably helps a lot with staffing too. Like, can we move staff from this park over here because we're expected a big day or whatever? Like from the management side, like I think that's awesome to know, like that kind of metric. But from a guest experience, it's not the greatest. Like you mentioned, Mike, all the extra planning you do. If you're not tuned to Disney updates all the time, like if it's your first trip and you're not using a travel agency, you're going to have no idea. And then you're going to have a miserable vacation. And that's the last thing Disney really wants. So I get it for now, but I honestly think it will go away eventually. I wish I knew that date, but I don't.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, like, I keep thinking these things are so way, way, way far off. But then I see the news like of this mask change that caught me like way earlier than I was expecting. Of course, that was, by the CDC making that call and, a lot of pressure outside, I'm sure. But I mean, yes, I think it will go away. But I mean, I'm just it's one of those things like I'm just expecting that it's going to be around for quite a while. And if it surprises me, good news. Like, you're right. It's great for Disney internally for their metrics and for their staffing and for all that stuff. They got to be in love with this system.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I think it's staying.
But Disney things like they survey people and people have to like not like this in surveys, but Disney's pretty good about taking something and saying, say 12% of the people like the theme park reservation system, and they'll say, we spoke with our guests and they said that the theme park reservation system helped them to have a better trip. Well, yeah, 12% did, and 80, percent didn't like it. I don't know. Ricky, you think it's going to stick around forever? Because I've had guests say, does Universal do this system? And I've said no.
No.
I'm like, okay, I'll go to Universal. I mean, I've had guests say that when I've been planning trips.
I agree with you, but I do not like the reservation. This is, again, I don't like the reservation system. I like the ability to be able to, just, roll up, especially because I do have an annual pass. So if I want to just go, down for a weekend, I can't. Like, I have to, I literally have to try to plan and I was lucky that, I had a few days notice for that Velasa coaster trip. I was lucky that I was able to get park pass reservations. And the only reason I was is because I was one person and they said that it was sold out, but I somehow lucked into getting, reservations.
That's how I got in Hollywood Studios, I think, because I was just solo. It just popped up for a second.
It also makes it difficult. So again, this trip this weekend that I'm planning, so it's, I bought park tickets for my mom. So she's got regular tickets. My brother has an annual pass. And then there's us who are staying on site. So I have all three of us have different kinds of tickets. I couldn't make park reservations for all four of us at once. I had to make my mom's park ones by herself. Then I had to make my brother's park ones by himself. And then I had to make ours by ourselves, all because we were staying in different types, we had different types of tickets. It made it super ridiculously difficult. And again, I had an issue where first I could make a reservation for my mom and my brother at Hollywood Studios, but because park reservations were closed for Hollywood Studios for people staying on site, I couldn't make them for us, even though we had annual passes. It made zero sense. Luckily, I was able to manage to do it, but like the park reservation system doesn't make sense for a lot of things. But I think that because of the staffing stuff that Scott talked about,
The whole thing is like, is Disney gonna they're gonna get addicted to this information?
absolutely
Turn it loose, but man, it's so hard. It's a hardship.
It's so frustrating to use as a guest. You are 100% correct. But I think Disney is going to love the information that they get from it. So that's why I think that there's a slightly good possibility that it stays. I don't want it to stay, but I think there's a good possibility that it could stay.
Yeah, Don says you make him sad.
I know. I'm sorry. I make a lot of people sad. My thoughts definitely are not not in line with a lot of Disney fans right now. So
Diane's bringing up a good point, though. She's like, I would rather have to make a theme park reservation than get to a theme park and get turned around because it's at capacity. But I mean, we had the situation before this all happened, right? I mean, like when you go down the 4th of July or Christmas or New Year's, you just, they put that out on social media, or, there's a phone number you can call and see if
they put out sandwich boards at the park,
Well, I mean, not close, probably.
Not at the park, but like they put it out like at the resorts. And they put it out on the, like a giant billboard sign, as you're like a construction sign as you're driving in, one of the light up ones, they'll say, park at capacity. So they have done that before. So,
you know what I haven't seen since the pandemic started at Walt Disney World? The skywriting planes.
Oh, I have.
Have you? I was wondering if that was like something that was they could do that. They could hire that guy.
Don't come in.
I saw the Goodyear blip.
Yeah, or like MK with like a slash. Like, I mean, you could hire 2 characters. That it just, by the time it fades away, you could probably get into the park.
You probably could.
Anyway, all right, we got to get out of here because we're out of time. But we're going to be back again on Friday, and we're talking about kind of a fun topic. We're going to talk about some of the crazy stuff we've done at Walt Disney World. Now, not crazy like we got, arrested or anything like that or did anything illegal. But I mean, we've done some fun stuff at Walt Disney World that if you are kind of newer to this whole Walt Disney World experience, that could be my band, right? The Walt Disney World experience. But
oh my God,
you're kind of new to
Duncan experience.
Yeah, exactly. He texted, he said you better favorited your tweet. That was
he responded to one of my tweets. Anyway, go ahead, Mike.
Anyway, though, we're going to talk about crazy stuff that we've done in the past at Walt Disney World. If you're new to this, you're like, I can't believe they did that at Walt Disney World. So we're going to talk about that on Friday. Don't forget tomorrow as well. It's the replay from Sunday night's live call-in show where we talked about the mask changes and all the news and all kinds of stuff. It was a really fun show. So grab that tomorrow on the feed as well. And don't forget today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. If you want to support the show, book your next trip with the great folks over at the Magic for Less. We'll walk you through all these things that need to be done to make sure you have a great trip. And once you're there, it's a piece of cake. But you got to take care of all this stuff before you wheels up, head down to Orlando. So we'll take great care of you. Drop by the magicforless.com. Fill out that quote form, mention the show, and we'll be working together getting you down there. So check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Also use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Really helps support the show. And a huge shout out to our patrons. I see a lot of you folks here in the live chat. Thanks for being here. And if you're listening here on the feed, thank you so much for being a patron. If you'd like to support the show that way, just visit patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Give us all a follow on the social media. I'm at BeOurGuestMike. Ricky's at Ricky Nibs. Scott's at EpScott. And of course, at Palm Trees of Disney as well. And you can follow the show at BeOurGuestPod. Subscribe to the show on Facebook and YouTube as well. You get a little ding and a notification every time we go live. All right. No, don't forget Sunday night again, live call-in show. Scott and I are here. We'll be taking your calls 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Join us on Facebook and YouTube. All right. Time to get out of here. We'll be back again on Friday. Again, another fun show. Crazy stuff we've done at Walt Disney World. So until we see you again, for Scott and Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday. Time to get back to work, and we'll see you real soon. Let me say that real quick. We'll make that next one not so long.
Ricky, we always miss each other on these trips.
When are you going down?
Memorial Day weekend, so the weekend after you.
That was supposed to be the weekend we were, but then Brian, so we had it booked and everything, and then Brian's like, that's month end, so I probably can't go down. I was like, oh. So I had to change it. We were supposed to be down there that weekend.
Yeah, you and I are always a weekend apart. Yeah. Every single trip.
Every trip. Yeah. But, you guys are talking about when you're going to be down there in July, and I'm supposed to go down I was thinking about the weekend after because that's my birthday. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe I'll push it up a weekend before, and that way I can be there when you guys are there. We'll see. We'll figure it out.
That's my.
Oh, you want to golf with us?
No, I don't want to golf with you guys. God, it's my birthday. No, I don't want to do that. That
I wanted
sounds
the golf
awful.
cart that like the one they put out during the marathon.
I know.
The Mickey Mouse one.
I know.
Yeah.
The big nose and stuff.
Yep.
Maybe Phil could hook that up for us.
Yeah,
Mhm.
good.
Hey, Phil's got connections.
No, how about the Mickey cart?
He
How about the
can
Mickey cart?
sweet talk anybody. I feel like so Phil can do it.
Yeah, he'd be driving like a Main Street Electrical Parade float.
Right? Exactly. Look what I got.
We'd have the music playing.
Yep.
Can I just say that's one of the crazy things I've done?
You've hijacked the electrical water pageant second
Yeah.
march. I gotta think. I got mine kind of. Okay, let's have fun with this. All right, 1903. Holy smokes!
Dang.
Here we go. Welcome to episode 1903 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Welcome to the weekend. Struggling already, but hey, we're going to make it through the show. I promise you. Ricky's doing well because Ricky gets to go to Walt Disney World this weekend, but she's recording with us a bit early. So you can check out all of her musings and all the news and everything you need to know to make your next Disney vacation great over at themouseforless.com. Ricky, happy Friday. Happy Walt Disney World weekend.
Yay! So I should be at the Magic Kingdom today. So
you have your theme park reservation. We talked.
I do. Yes, I do. So yeah, I should be at the Magic Kingdom today. And it's kind of going to be an interesting trip because of course I'm going to get all the the latest of all the changes that have happened over the past, couple of weeks since I was down there last. There's been a lot of changes that have happened. So I'm going to get all that content for you too, but it's also kind of going to be a nice little family trip for us because we're bringing my mom with us and my brother's going to come up. So yeah, it's like going to be a hybrid trip, like a family vacation, which we haven't done in forever. I think really since my grandma passed. And then a fact finding vacation too. So it's gonna be like half work trip, half family vacation. So it'll be fun.
Why isn't Rick coming? Rick?
My dad doesn't like Walt Disney World.
What's wrong with Rick?
Yeah. If we really want to be honest, Dad doesn't really like Disney. So
does he like Universal?
He does
like a softball tournament or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's got golf to do.
Yeah.
No, he does like Universal better than Disney. So yeah, yeah. So he's not a huge Walt Disney World fan.
Anyway, we'll have fun. So is there like one thing that you're looking for? Because when I go down, there's always, like when I even stayed at the Disney Springs Hotel at the Hilton there, I was excited because I got to go over to Disney Springs, have my breakfast at Earl of Sandwich. I know it's not a big thing, but I was looking forward to that. Is there something on this trip that, is there a snack that you've seen out lately? Everybody's talking about like a coconut kind of like
Dole Whip thing. Yeah.
I don't
like Dole Whip, so I'm out on that one. As of right now, I have a couple of things that are planned that I don't know if they will actually come to fruition. Some things with dining and stuff like that. Just because I haven't really talked to my mom about what she wants to do with things. So I have a few things in mind, but I don't. It's really going to be more of a what mom wants to do trip in a weird way. Like, I kind of want to cater to her since she doesn't get to go very often. So I guess that's really the big thing is like kind of finding out what my mom wants to do for this trip. So, because, she listens to the podcast all the time and she's, here's all of our tips and it's been a long time since she's been, like I said. Seeing what she wants to do will probably be a big part of what we do.
Did you get a Hollywood Studios theme park reservation?
Do have a Hollywood. It's tomorrow, and she wants to do Rise, and I said, "Well, I'll see what I can do." But it's also, the fact that I have to get up at 7:00 in the morning to make that.
Not early. That is, you're killing.
So
me.
You got to wake up a little bit before 7:00. Though.
I will wake up at 6:55.
No, that is not.
And then I will go back to sleep.
You get yourself you got to get yourself cognitively aware.
I can be cognitively aware of getting up at 6:55. Trust me.
The force is only strong with those that wake up at least 6:00.
That's not going to happen. And then I only go back to sleep because I can guarantee you I'm not staying awake at 7:00 in the morning. So yeah. It is vacation and it is Saturday. So
you don't deserve a boarding group. I'm just saying, if you get one, there's a disturbance in the force.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Also joining us, you heard of my buddy and yours, hashtag Scotty G up in the mitten. What's up, Scott?
Hey, happy to fill in for my good friend Pam again. Excited for the weekend. I will be down at Walt Disney World the following weekend after Ricky. So when she leaves, she's gonna tag me in. We're gonna be
just gonna high five on the way out. Yeah.
Exactly. So thanks for having me on again, Mike. I love talking Disney with all of you.
Yeah, so what do you have kind of on the agenda for Memorial Day weekend? We kind of talked about that on Sunday a little bit, that you've been down that weekend for the 24-hour day. Boy, that's another thing.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Spoiler, man. That's one of my things I'm talking about.
Totally dropped the bomb there. My bad. So we'll talk about it.
Way to go, Mike.
Let me just say, anything special for this trip you're looking forward
to? Just relaxation. Just hanging out. We have a Topolino's dinner that I'm super excited about, which you bailed on. But
fucking night, man. I eat it for.
I know. I think I talked about this on the live show we had. I live in the same house with my daughter and wife, and with all the virtual schooling and work, sometimes we don't even see each other. So looking forward to some quality time with the family. That's always number one important thing to me.
Sitting on the plane, like, who are you? Like, oh,
exactly.
Right?
How's it going, Emily?
No, she'll have her mask on. I won't even recognize her. I'll just recognize her eyes.
Yeah, right.
Wait, what's up? Okay, so today's topic. I was just thinking about this the other day, and again, we're just trying to have some fun on Fridays. Ricky's at Walt Disney World. Scott's going next weekend. I don't get to go till July, but I'm amped up. Like, all this good news seems like things are going in the right direction. I want to get down there. I wanted to kind of have a discussion because it's going to lead into this Sunday night's live call-in show, where you are going to call in with your answers to this question. What are some of the craziest things that you've done at Walt Disney World? Now, again, like I said on Wednesday, not like illegal stuff. I don't want to know about that.
No.
Statute of limitations might not have run out yet.
Hey, if you've stolen Buzzy, please don't call in and tell us you've stolen Buzzy, okay?
No, don't need to know. Not judging. Well, I would judge. Don't steal stuff. But craziest stuff that you've done. For example, when you go through your Google Photos, I think this is one of those things that we're living in such like strange times. Like, at this point, I've kind of forgot what a dining plan is. I've almost forgot like where the fast pass queues are. It's stuff like that, right?
Forgetting where the fast pass queues are.
Like, extra magic hours were a staple in my trips, and I can't even like think of what an extra magic hour would be like right now. So there's so many things that have happened. Like, because I've been going to Walt Disney World now for probably about 15 years. Every year. And so there's, certain things that have happened with like promotions or new attractions opening, stuff closing, just different stuff they've done. And the thing that got me thinking about this is, my Google Photos were going by the other day as I was working here in the office. And I look up and there's pictures of us ice skating at Walt Disney World. Now, if you don't know this, now a lot of you have probably done this. You're probably like, yeah, I did that. And this is kind of what this show's like. The goal is to kind of bring back memories. But back when Frozen came out, remember the Frozen mania? And
yes,
kind of didn't know. I think that
they did not. Disney did not know that was going to happen. Trust.
Because it came out on my birthday. Because we went and saw it on my birthday, the day it released, November 27th. I can't remember the year, but we went to see it. Now, this was in the summer, so this was probably the following summer because it was a summer trip. And in the studios where Toy Story Land is now, where the old Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Play It building was, they had kind of an extra part of that building, and they put an ice rink into Hollywood Studios, and you could go in and ice skate. Now, the thing was, like, we ice skated. Scott, you were there, right? We were there together, right?
We weren't there together, but we did do the same experience as you. Okay. We weren't together though.
So I couldn't remember, but the thing was, it was like Frozen mania. I remember that same day they came out with like Olaf plushes, and it was like so hard to get one, and we got one. It was like having the Lombardi trophy, man. It was like crazy. They were on just one cart somewhere. Anyway, and Frozen Magic Band as well. It was just nuts. But they put in an ice rink in this like extra building next to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Play It. Also in there, they had, and this was the funniest thing, because like ice skating, it was a novelty to do in Florida in July, especially in Hollywood Studios. But I'm from Missouri. Like, there's ice rinks everywhere. Like, I could ice skate anywhere. Like especially Scott, you're up north. Like, there's ice skating's not really a huge deal. But the thing was, not only did it, and it was a little bitty ice rink. I mean, it was a little sheet of ice. I mean, it wasn't really ice skating, but it was like kind of, you went around a few times. But the thing is, they had this area that cracked me up. They called it, "Do you want to build a snowman?" And so what they did was, if you've ever ice skated, they shave the ice right every now and then to make the ice smoother so you can skate on it a lot easier. So they, bring out the Zamboni, they shave the ice, and the ice shavings are they're just like trash basically at home. It's like excess. Nope. What they did with that was they put that in a pile and they allowed kids to go over and play in the ice shavings and build like, snowmen. And the funny thing is because again, this was pre all this COVID stuff. This was way before that. People were there from every corner of the planet. So there were a lot of people there. I was assuming, I'm making an assumption here. They've probably never had snowfall where they're from. Like I've seen snow a million times, but maybe Florida kids, right? That have grown up for 10 years, never seen a snowfall. So they're over there, taking these ice shavings with their bare hands and like making snowballs, trying to make 3 snowballs, make it look like Olaf. And dude, their hands are just so red. And it's somebody that's from Missouri. I'm like, oh, these kids are going to get frostbite. Like that is just hurting watching them. But yeah, back in the day, you could ice skate. I remember in that building, you could get like snow cone slushes. I remember I got like a cool, it wasn't like an alcoholic drink. It was just a snow cone, but you got snow cones. But I mean, they had the full on, like you rented your skates. You went to a skate rental place, gave them your shoes. They gave you skates. You skated for a little bit. You made your, you play in the shavings and make a snowman. It was pretty cool. I mean, I don't know if Disney
literally, it was cool. Literally.
Yeah. I don't, would Disney think that far outside the box right now with something? Probably not right now for sure. But I mean, maybe in a few years when everything recovers. But it was, it was cool just to say I ice skated in the studios. So that's one of those things like crazy stuff. Yeah, you could ice skate at Hollywood Studios. I did it. All right, Ricky, what about you? What's something crazy you've done?
I think that a lot of people wouldn't realize that you could actually at one point, I mean, granted, it's been a while, but you could go clubbing at Disney Springs, which was downtown Disney at the time.
Pleasure
I mean, you could legit go clubbing. You could, they had a number of different dance clubs that you could go to and just go dancing. I mean, at one point they had a country line dancing one. They had, obviously there was the one that was mannequins, which had like legit mannequins.
I heard that place was nuts. That's the one I went into country one.
Yeah.
What that was called. What was it? God, what was that called?
Oh gosh.
I forgot. Me because I know the name of it. I went in 8 tracks. That was like a
there was 8 tracks. I went in that one.
That was 80s.
Yes,
that was 80s. Yes. The neon armadillo. That was it.
Yes. I think I went into mannequins too, which that's the one that had the rotating dance floor. Yeah. So I definitely went in there just to see what it was like. They had they had the comedy club, which was also another one. But my favorite, of course, was the thing that I talk about. I haven't talked about in a while, but it was the Adventurers Club.
Yeah.
And it was this unique place that you could go, and you were part of the show. It was a tiny little space that we definitely couldn't have now because of COVID. But there were different skits that happened throughout the night. But a lot of the skits, yes, they had a place where they had to go. They had songs that they had to sing, but a lot of it was ad-libbed. And I mean, these actors that they had inside the Adventurers Club, they were so spot on. For those who don't know, the Adventurers Club, characters were part of the Society of Explorers and Adventurers. And the whole point was that they had come back. It was 1937, and this was the club that they came to kind of tell stories of their adventures and stuff like that. So, and the whole idea at the end of the
library with all kinds of
library,
kind of like eating in jungles, Skipper Canteen.
It was exactly very similar to that. Yeah. But the whole point of the money was to try to raise, or the whole point of the evening was to try to raise money for the club to keep it going. So that was the whole point of the evening. So that was the story, but it was such a cool and unique place that, I mean, you would never, if you had never been and you didn't know, you're new to the Disney thing, you would never know that something like this existed. I mean, it got Disney out of hand. Not bad, but there were definitely some jokes that, were a little adult in there sometimes, but it was so much fun to get to experience that and have I mean, I was there one of the last, few nights. I got to see some of the last cast member performances, and I have them on video. And it was such a unique place that Disney would never build ever again, unfortunately, which makes me sad. But it was so cool to get to go to the Adventures Club. I miss it every day. Every day.
It was the all-inclusive thing for me about Pleasure Island was that you either I never paid to get. I think I paid him once. Like we were with some friends once, and like you paid it like a big caboose or some kind of like a railroad.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But anyway, most of the time it was just included in like your ultimate park hopper, right? You could just go in with your ticket. But the thing that was cool about it was that you could just bounce around from place to place and check out all these places. But the best part you didn't even mention was that every night at Pleasure Island was New Year's Eve. And
that's true.
Shot off the fireworks. Was a DJ up on the top of the roof. It was.
They did. When I started going though, they did not do every night was New Year's Eve, so they did not shoot off fireworks. So I was a little late to the game. I started going to Pleasure Island almost near the end is really when I started going. So yeah, I only got a couple years of good Pleasure Island fun. Yeah, it was
a ton of fun, and I see why it was like really popular. But I do understand it's probably more of a headache than anything for Disney because when you have like that kind of an atmosphere, you probably. I don't know. It's probably like, every city has, like we had Laclede's Landing in St.
Absolutely.
Out of control, so yeah, but the good times. You're right. I mean, you could celebrate you could celebrate New Year's Eve every night for a while, and you could go to 7 clubs at Walt. Yeah. All right, Scott, what about you? Something crazy thing you've done down there?
Man, that sounds awesome, by the way. That was before my time. I'm really, really jealous.
So much fun.
Yeah. So when you think about like crazy and like unique experiences, I think Hollywood Studios has a ton actually because of like they try to get you into the role, right? And like they try to do all these fun things, and sometimes they just try to find up with reasons to get people to go to the park while they're doing construction, So I have a lot of Hollywood Studio ones, but one that comes to my mind. I may have shared this on the podcast before, but it was on my 30th birthday. 4 parks in one day. We started at the studios, and this is when the Backlot tour was still around.
Yes,
And for those that don't know, they would take some volunteers for one of the first scenes. I mean, this was already outdated. I mean, this is years ago, and it was already outdated. But like the movie was like Pearl Harbor.
Yes, it was the Pearl Harbor.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So the scene was there's going to be like this huge explosion of like water and all this stuff, and they saw my birthday button, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to do it?" I'm like, "Yeah, today's actually is my birthday, so yeah, I'll do it."
So you did it.
Yeah, so they put me into like this jacket, basically like this waterproof jacket, and they gave us these rules, like don't fall down and pretend to be dead or things like that. Like they were like really strict on what to do, and just have fun with it, So like I'm having fun, I'm doing the 2-finger point for all this stuff, and I had recently lost a lot of weight. I've gained it all back since then, but I had lost a lot of weight, So that's part of the story here. So we're doing this thing, and this water explosion just happens, and it just blasts me. Like, I mean, it was so much pressure, and like, I just started screaming like a madman. Like, everyone thought like I was a really good actor. Like, look at that guy, like screaming from the explosion. No, the reason I was screaming is because of all the weight loss and the water hitting my hand. My wedding ring just like shot right off, and I'm like looking down on the ground, like like I'm trying to find my wedding ring. Nowhere to be found. So my wedding ring is lost somewhere in the Hollywood Studios, probably in Galaxy's Edge somewhere, or whatever they rebuilt.
Okay, no.
I did not know this story.
Yep. So,
oh my gosh.
And then we went back, and like I have like all these funny photos. We had like the really nice camera that day, so Elizabeth was taking all these cool photos. And I was like, okay, there's the before photo. You can see my wedding ring. And the after photo, wedding ring gone.
That's another thing too. Remember having to like actually have a video camera that you had to take around the parks with you? Yeah, like that was my first trips. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I mean, Brian lost his first wedding ring too, but that was not at Disney. That was in Key West, and I don't know where he lost that, but
it's kind of a fun story, And then like I kind of missed that attraction because Catastrophe Canyon was sweet. Like the next part of that. I loved that. That was so awesome. But
oh my
it was kind of fun to be in the show. And I lost my wedding ring. It's somewhere in Walt Disney World.
Ow.
Do you think that kind of attraction? Because I mean, Universal back in the day had a lot more things like that with like Earthquake and Jaws and stuff like that, where you were actually in there and there was a lot more physical, like Catastrophe Canyon, like you talking about like with the rig that kind of came down the canyon and blew up and stuff. And like the water came out. Yeah, I think everybody would still like that, but maybe the time has come that's. I don't know, because everything's CGI now. Like every movie's like computer made. I don't
know. I think it's cool. Like I love the movies, and it really fit in well with the parks theme. So I was always a fan of it, and I never did like. Didn't it used to have like a ridiculously long tour? Like it was like 4 hours or something like that. Like I never did that. I would just hear about that on Wedway, But
don't remember if we did it when I was a kid. It would have been around the right time for us to have done it. I'm sure we probably did, but I don't remember, actually. I don't remember doing it, but I do remember I think some of the pieces of it, because I know that there was the Honey I Shrunk the
playground set.
Well, no, there was the bee scene, and I do think I have somewhat memories of the green screen with the bee. I do think I remember a little bit of that, but I'm not sure if I'm projecting something that I've seen, on in photos and stuff like that too. So I'm not entirely sure if it's my actual memory or a faulty memory, but I'm almost certain that I would have had to have experienced that. And again, it was such. You're right. The Backlight Tour was such a unique and cool thing that Disney did that it is sad that they don't have anymore.
And here's another funny story too. So we replaced that wedding ring, got a second wedding ring.
No,
I was taking the trash out one day, and whoo, it just slid off and went straight into the dumpster. That's not a bad sign. Elizabeth and I love each other very much. For the record.
Did you get that one
back? Did not get that one back. I wasn't digging the dumpster. So my third wedding ring was a Mickey band. Like Elizabeth just said, I'm just going to give you this Mickey Mouse band. I know you won't lose that sucker, and I still wear it.
That's funny. Oh my gosh.
Speaking of wedding rings, real quick, I'd never taken mine off since the time that Pam put it on me at our wedding, and we're going to be married 15 years next month. But they made me take it off for my surgery last week.
Yes. Oh my God.
I take the jewelry off. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, it won't come off. I was playing with them. Like, yeah, I knew I could get it off. I was like, oh, it's stuck. It's stuck. I was thinking they'd be like, oh, it's fine. Just let it go. They're like, nope. They're like, get the lube. I'm like, oh, I can get it off.
Oh no, I can get the lube. Big. We're
good. I don't know what you're getting, but yeah, fine. It's off. Game over. Fine. Whatever.
That's hilarious.
I was so mad about that. That's probably the thing I was most mad about. Anyway, next story. Okay. Again, Studios has a lot of this. It's so funny. I didn't think about that. But if you're new to Disney, and you've come in the last 5 years, right? Galaxy's Edge is a huge deal. We got the hotel coming online next year. We've got Galaxy's Edge. Rise of Resistance boarding groups have caused us all to lose years off our life. But it's awesome when you get in there. It's worth it. Ronto wraps are life. I love them. But before this, Disney used to have a thing called Star Wars Weekends in the beginning of the summer at the studios. It was usually May to June.
Yep.
Only on the weekends. And you could buy these. I remember people want these. They're called big figs. They're like little statues.
Oh my gosh. I forgot all about the big figs.
Until but everybody wanted a big fig. I'm cheap. I wasn't buying a big fig, but that was the thing. People carry around these 3-foot statues. There were, Lando Calrissian would be down. All the actors that played in the Star Wars movies would come. They would do a parade. The parade was super cool. There was one car that looked like it was the speeder from Episode 4 that Luke rides around on Tatooine on. It was really cool. But here's the thing. You will not believe this if you've only come into Disney in the last 4 or 5 years. So, and I've told this story before. One time I saw the guy buying all the food at the counter service place. He had on his Jedi robe. Gave him 2 trays. He's like, I can't get this back to my family. I only have one hand. The guy said, use the Force, Luke. That was good. But that's not my story. Here's a story. They had this thing at the end of the night every weekend called Hyperspace Hoopla.
Yep.
If you have not ever heard of Hyperspace Hoopla, and I know 90% of you have, but let's just remember the good times, right? Considering how many people debate, well, is Batuu a place where the Mandalorian could exist, or could Luke be on, Batuu? What universe is that set in? What character? We're so worried about, every detail of, the sign hanging on the John and, in Batuu, that the fact that we had this thing called Hyperspace Hoopla.
Oh my gosh, yes.
At the end of every night, where Darth Vader would come out and Dirty Dance with Padme and you had a line of stormtroopers dancing to Spice Girls. It was the stupidest thing in the history of the world, but it was incredibly awesome. I just can't believe though that I don't know who's in charge of what Darth can do and what Luke can do with stormtroopers, but they could do anything during this show. It was nuts.
At the time, Disney did not own anything Star Wars, so they were not concerned with keeping things canon. Which is why Hyperspace Hoopla was allowed to go on, and it definitely did not fit canon stuff at all. You got Darth Vader definitely dancing to MC Hammer and stuff like that. So, so that's actually why Hyperspace, as soon as Disney bought Star Wars, all of that stopped. I mean, literally the year, I think it was the year that they bought Star Wars. I think that was the last year for hyperspace hoopla. Like they happened around the same time. So like they stopped that immediately. So that's why we had hyperspace hoopla, because Disney didn't own it and George Lucas did. So that was the
so
weird
funny though, because you know what's the craziest thing? Like I remember waiting because it was super hot this night, like 3 hours, like to hold my spot. And this was
yes. Oh, it was so popular.
Well, they used to do like the show back where they do the Jedi, like where the
yes, they did. Like that was where it originally happened.
But then eventually it got so big towards the end that they put it on the main stage out in front of the Chinese theater. And I remember standing like right in the middle of that, you know, and it was still sunny and it was like June. It was so hot. I was like, I'm going to die, but I'm going to die waiting to see this show. And the thing was, like, I was not disappointed. I mean, and the thing is, like, everybody around you is losing their mind.
Yep.
And these are like the biggest Star Wars nerds. I mean, lovingly, like I'm a Star Wars nerd, not as big as some of these people though. But the thing is, like, people are losing their minds like it's the Beatles in the 60s when Darth Vader's jamming to MC Hammer, like you said, Ricky. And it was we all knew it was wrong, but we didn't care. Like, it was but I mean, like right now, there is no way anything like that could even, like, if anybody even brought that up in a staff meeting right now at Disney, they'd be like, you're fired. Like they'd push the button, your chair would get sucked up into the abyss. You would never exist anymore.
Nope.
The greatest. I'm telling you, if you've never heard of hyperspace hoopla, look it up.
Oh, you can Google it, and you can look on. There are YouTube videos for sure about hyperspace hoopla, and you watch them, and you're just like,
Boba Fett coming out with his, you know, like his like laser gun, and just
yes. You're just like, oh my goodness, this actually happened.
Craziness. Yeah. That was true Disney craziness. That's mine. All right, Ricky, what's another crazy thing you've done?
So once upon a time, in Epcot, you could actually hop on a Segway and ride it. Now, there were two different ways that you could do this. So the first way is the way that I got to experience it. And that's where the running joke has come in, where you got to, it was an actual tour that Disney had where you jumped on a Segway. They taught you how to use it. And then you actually got to go through World Showcase on a Segway, and they would tell you about the different countries. Now, the joke is that I ran into, Morocco, and the king of Morocco had to fix it. Of course, this was at a time when Disney didn't own Morocco. The king of Morocco owned Morocco.
You're a wanted woman over in the Middle East.
Yeah, exactly. That's not the case anymore. Disney owns Morocco now, but at least the country in Epcot.
I don't think they own the country. They own the pavilion.
They own the pavilion. Yes, exactly. So, but there was another experience that you got to do, and it was in Inventions, which again was a very unique place before it became this, just completely decimated area where there was literally nothing to do except for, a couple of small things. But in that spot, you could actually learn how to ride a Segway. You only got about 15 or 20 minutes where you got, they maybe at the max where they taught you how to drive a Segway. But Mike Rollman actually got to experience this, and I have photographic evidence of him doing terribly on learning how to drive a Segway. So yeah, you could actually learn how to do that. So that was kind of cool too. Of course, the other thing, that you could do is you could learn how to build a roller coaster, and with the Sum of All Thrills, which was kind of cool too. And you actually got to decide how you could do like a roller coaster, or you could do like something with a jet plane, or a couple of other different options. I think the jet plane was the one that was the most intense. And so it's the same technology that's actually used at Universal with their Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey attraction. It's a KUKA arm. And they would put you in this KUKA arm, and then you would ride out your what you put together for your experience. So you could make it as intense as you wanted or as less intense. Of course, I did the intense version. So that was kind of cool. Another weird thing that they had in Inventions was not weird, but definitely not something that they would have now, is there was this thing where you could do hurricane force technology. So they would put you inside this room
simulator,
and it was like a hurricane simulator. And so they actually showed you what it was like to feel hurricane force winds.
Santori.
Yeah, exactly. Then there was the Great Piggy Bank Adventure,
Yep.
which allowed you to kind of learn how to
Those little things were cute. Those little piggy banks.
yes,
Dude, I love the Great Piggy Bank Adventure. That was
you
awesome.
could buy those at one point on the Great Piggy Bank Adventure website, I think. Yeah, so you could do that. You learn how to like
one yet. You haven't said my favorite one yet. Keep
Mine
going.
too.
Keep
wait,
going.
was that the Where's the Fire?
Yes.
Yes.
Competition with those flashlights. Yes.
Yes. So they kind of taught you about fire safety. Again, this was all when Epcot was really about that edutainment, purpose, and which they've definitely gotten away from a lot over the years. But it was certainly Interventions. That's another place that was just super unique, that you wouldn't believe that you would be able to do some of those things, but you definitely could. So it's kind of cool.
Again, like when I think about this, and I hopefully, our audience is thinking about this too, like, we're trading Interventions, like Interventions gone. So we're going to get this new, redesigned future world with the neighborhoods and so forth. And I know everything can't stay the same forever. It was getting kind of stale.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
Totally stale. And it was a very niche kind of thing to enjoy. Where's the Fire and the Great Piggy Bank Adventure, right? 95% of the people aren't going to do that.
No, they definitely weren't going.
But I mean, like, I lament like all these things being gone. Like, Scott said with Catastrophe Canyon, and maybe I'm just, but I'm very nostalgic. I think a lot of people aren't as nostalgic, and they're just like, good riddance. We did it.
Do you know like how many like Chase Disney card photos I have from Interventions? Because they would actually give you like the printout if you went to like the camera center.
Yeah, that's true.
I forgot about because you got a printed out photo, man. That was a big deal back in the day.
And we have like a tote of just like a bunch of like Disney junk, I say in quotes, but like there are so many like character meal like photo packages and those photos.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about those
stacked in this tote.
Yeah.
I totally. So just real quick, you mentioned that the photo packages at the characters like Chef Mickey's and so forth. So if you didn't know about this, now this is something that's way better nowadays. So they would take your picture as you went in, like in front of the big plate at Chef Mickey's, or some kind of backdrop. And then like 3/4 of the way through the meal, they would drop off this clear plastic envelope with like all your pictures printed out. It would come with like a keychain, like a magnet and like a 5x7. And you're just going to have breakfast. But the thing is, like, I felt guilty because it's like they used to do this on the cruise, right? They had all these pictures of you, like real pictures, like they're going to throw them away if you don't buy them. Like, I don't want to throw away my picture. Like, this is mean. Like, so you pay like $40 or $50 to get this photo package, and like you said, Scott, you get home. What'd you do with it? Nothing. Like,
it's just sitting in a pile of junk. I have them for everywhere. Ohana, Chef Mickey's, like everywhere.
Glad that's gone.
It's kind of fun to look at them, though. I mean, you see Emily, but the thing is, like, I took the same photo while they were taking it of Emily. Like
exactly. Yeah, whatever. All right, Scott, wrap it up for us. What we got?
Man, I have a bunch. I was actually, I still might talk about Star Wars Weekend a little bit for mine, but so I like to do I love doing unique experiences at Disney. Like anytime they like try to like promote something new or fresh, like I'll book a trip right then. Like I'm just a sucker for that kind of stuff. Like I remember one year, they were refurbing Cinderella's royal table. So dine with the princesses at Citrico's instead. Like that's kind of like a downgrade, but we still did it anyway, because it was like, how many times do you eat with the princesses at Citrico's, But one of my favorites was during a Star Wars weekend, Mike. I think it was not to copy the Star Wars weekend, but I think it was the last year they did it. And man, I do really miss Star Wars weekends. They were so much fun with like the walk around characters and all that. It was a blast. But they had 2 special dining experiences. And we did both of them. Oh my God. They were so expensive. The first one, I'll talk about my least favorite one first. It was at Hollywood and Vine. And it was like Goofy, like with the Darth Vader costume and his shorts. Like Mickey was Luke. And like, it was so cool. And like, I was sharing these photos like on Twitter and all that. Like I started getting stuff trending. Like people were like retweeting me. Like it was like my most like viral like tweets ever in my life. Like people were just going nuts for them. It was such a cool experience. But my favorite though, and like, oh my gosh, I wish they would bring this back, is like they did a sci-fi dine-in breakfast.
Yes, that's the one I did.
You did that too, Ricky?
That was an amazing breakfast too. I'm not even gonna lie, it was good food.
It was awesome. That blue milk was so much better than the blue milk they sell in Galaxy's Edge too. I'll just throw that out there. But like they had Jawas like walking around. Like Greedo came up to me, you know, like characters like you really, especially at that time, like never saw. Like I think Boba Fett might have been there too. But that was, and you're just in the you're in sci-fi, you know, and you're having these awesome Star Wars characters come up, and they were playing like Star Wars trailers and movies like on the theater screen, like, and that was the only year they did.
It was.
That.
It was the only year.
And then I think Star Wars Weekends were done. I think that was the last year for it.
Yeah.
And God, like they're just throwing money away if you don't have a Star Wars character breakfast meal in sci-fi. I'm just saying.
I mean, I agree with you. That was such a cool experience. I actually did something too. They did I remember they did at Backlot Express. All I remember is I got like, before I knew what charcuterie was, they had like this interesting charcuterie board, and it had these pieces of like bread type thing, and they were in the shape of C-3PO. Like, I don't know what those were, but it was just a cool experience of like, it was like, I guess, I don't know if they were testing out Star Wars food or what at that point, but
it might have been that maybe they're thinking about Galaxy's Edge already. You know,
I'm sure they were. Yeah.
So let me ask you, you bring a point though, and I got to ask you this, like, because you just brought up the exact question, like, why not do this? I mean, you think about it, sci-fi is right as you're walking into Galaxy's Edge right now. Why not have a character? Because you could charge, I mean, I don't want them to, but I mean, you know, supply demand kind of thing. I mean, $60 a plate. And I mean, you have those characters. I mean, every person that did that raves about it. I've not heard a negative thing ever about that.
Oh, it was the coolest character meal I've ever been to, man. It was, and the food was good. I think Ricky was just talking about, like, they weren't like your Mickey waffles and like, which is good, obviously, but like, it was just, they had some unique offerings, if I recall. I have to look through my photos, but go ahead, Ricky.
I think I have a blog post actually on the mouse for
we may have done a blog post.
Yeah.
We may have, but I just love those unique offerings, and there's so many of them. I could go, like, this could be a topic actually, you know, about like special events like this, but that was just one that like sticks to me so much. Like that Star Wars weekend we stayed at the Yacht Club, Mike, and we might have gone there like 6 times during that trip, like 6, because I don't know. I'm trying to remember. Was it just the weekends, or wasn't there a time where they were doing that during the week too? Like it was like a special month. Maybe I'm wrong there.
I think maybe the like last weekend it was expanded out or something for the whole
maybe
week.
Because I just remember like we were at the studios like constantly that trip, and that was one of my favorite trips of all time.
Yeah, Star Wars weekends. I mean, I know Galaxy's Edge is way awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it was just when the whole park kind of turned into this just whole hub of Star Wars-ness. Yeah, it was cool.
I wasn't even a fan of Star Wars. I mean, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of Star Wars, and I legit booked a trip so I could experience Star Wars weekends. That's how cool it was.
And you know what I think of when I think of Star Wars weekends, and this happened, I kid you not, like 1 week before our first trip. I wish I would have booked our first trip like 2 weeks before, because I think it was the last year they did it in 2011, and it was ESPN the weekend. God, I wish I would have been able to do that. Like that would have been.
They had Super Soap Weekend too. Like there was a big soap opera weekend that they did. Yeah, they
did. The studios is awesome for like these just like one-off like really cool events. It really was.
I wonder why those kind of things went away. I mean, is it just because they don't need to do it anymore? You know, I guess maybe because
I think so.
I mean, why bother if you're gonna have the parks full?
Like, how cool would it be to like see like athletes just like walking around at Hollywood Studios, man? Like that would be so cool to me. But
my other husband was in Hollywood Studios recently. He was working on getting a lightsaber at Savi's. I'm just saying. So you know, I was so mad.
I think that means we gotta wrap up the show.
I'm so mad.
That's a wrap.
No, Justin Timberlake was down there.
I did cruise one time with Stuart Scott. That was the greatest. Like they gave him a free cruise. This is right after, you know, like Disney Cruise Line. This was like one of the very first sailings. Like it was on the Magic. I think it was either the Magic or the Wonder. It was right when Disney Cruise Line was very new, and I think they were trying to introduce it like to their, you know, their people within the company. And so like he came on and he did a like a talk, you know, like they had a, you know, we could go listen to Stuart Scott talk about sports broadcasting. But man, he got so drunk doing
karaoke story of yours is so
back
good.
then, dude, you got a shot of tequila before every song you sang, and he just kept singing. His wife was so mad, but he was such a cool dude. Like rest in peace, Stuart Scott. He was one of my favorite broadcasters on ESPN. So cool guy, such a cool guy. But yeah. I think things like that though, where you take something like a Disney cruise, or like you said, like a day at the studios, or you know, a day at downtown Disney Springs, and you get some kind of like overlay or some kind of weird extra experience that really sticks to you. You know, like I say,
I love the weird extra experiences, man. Like sign me up for any of them.
Yep.
I'm in. Yeah, then we need more of this. All right. Well, hey, that's going to do it for us today here on Friday, but we're continuing this on Sunday night. Scott and I will be there. We're going to be taking your calls. So there's so many other crazy things that have happened at Walt Disney.
Oh, I got more. I got some Disneyland ones we can share too.
Oh, yeah, we'll throw these in. So,
Oh yeah, I'm
give us
sure.
a call Sunday. We didn't talk about the 24-hour day. That was crazy.
Oh, that's true. We didn't talk
Can you
about the
imagine?
24-hour day.
Yeah, but if you were in, but the thing is, I want to know that like you were a part of it. Like, don't go like I Googled. Like, I want to hear like,
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
I died waiting for Darth Vader to dirty dance with, Princess Leia. Like, it was crazy. Like, aren't they like relate? Aren't they like his daughter? Like, it's weird. I can't think about that stuff. It's so crazy. Like, what are the things when you look back, like, can't believe I did that at Walt Disney World. So we'll be talking about that on Sunday night, Facebook and YouTube, whichever one you want to tune in, 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central. Give us a call. We'll have a good time with that. Don't forget today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. As always, if you want to head to a Disney destination, we're booking Disney cruises. Disney Wish is right there on the cusp of a lot of folks being able to book that. We can book all the other ships as well. Adventures by Disney, Disneyland, Walt Disney World, lots of stuff going on. Just drop by the site, fill out the quote form, mention the show, and we'll be taking great care of you right away. Again, themagicforless.com. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our patrons. You're allowing us to put out these shows 4 times a week. And we sure appreciate that. And if you'd like a 5th show, Mike in the Midwest every Thursday morning, just visit patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Also, hey, join our Discord server. We have a good time with that. Just visit the website, beourguestpodcast.com. On the right-hand side, there's a link there. Join the Discord server. It's like a chat room that goes all the time. Pictures, conversations. We talk about everything on that.
I posted a photo of me with a to-go No Way Jose.
Oh,
I said No Way Jose is not a to-go item, and Scott said, hey, yes it was.
heck yes, it is. Remember, that's what I took home with me and drove in the car with.
Someone talked
Remember?
about that.
Somebody talked about that on the server too, just today.
See?
So
Just
it's
saying.
all there.
Yep.
Get on the conversation 24/7. We talk Disney over on Discord. Just visit beourguestpodcast.com. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Oh, follow us on social media, Instagram and Twitter at beourguestmike,
Especially this weekend.
at Ricky Nibs, at Palm Trees of Disney, and at beourguestpod. Lots of information coming from Ricky this weekend, though, so follow her. And say a prayer for her nose as it appears from
Yes,
18 months of seclusion.
Exactly, right?
All of our noses are going to be so lit in the next.
I know.
I mean,
Sunscreen.
it's summertime as it is. Like, you know what I mean? You're going to be at your house in your backyard, like, cutting the grass and stuff. But I mean, now all of us Disney fans, little nose be peeking out. So be careful. Sunscreen, copper tone. All right, we're out of here. We'll talk to you again on Sunday night. For Scott and Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great weekend. Whatever you do, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Have a great
Scott, do you remember? Did you get to experience? So the one trip that I have at Disneyland, I got to experience that Mad Tea Party thing. Do you remember that?
No.
Oh my gosh. Because everybody was like losing their minds about it. Like it was super popular with the locals. And so I made sure and I got to experience it. It's one of the things like I took the most pictures of for some stupid reason when I was down there.
Dude, the Mad Tea Party is so awesome out there. What I was gonna say, this isn't even like a unique experience, but kind of is. But remember when you got like at the Mexican restaurant, you got like a media pass or whatever, and you asked me if I wanted to go to it?
Yes, I forgot about that.
So it was a race weekend. It was the last race weekend. So Georgia, David came with me as my add-on.
Yes.
And we had a Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen booked for like an hour and a half later with like Teresa, my family, Jeff Barnes. And so like David was like, we're like, okay, we'll just have some chips and guac, man. We'll have like a taco or something. And then we'll just head over to Ralph Brennan's and I'll write a blog about this.
Yes.
We're the first ones there. And the lady said, all right, we're going to throw the whole kitchen sink at you today. We're going to have fajitas, enchiladas. Wow. And we're going to have desserts. And David and I just look at each other like, what the heck, man? So we just like pounded through all this food. Teresa and Elizabeth are texting me like, they won't see us until you guys get here. We're like, all right, we're trying to hurry. And then they're like, all right, now it's time for the desserts. We're just looking at each other like, how are we going to do this? So we wrapped it up, tipped them, said, thanks for the event. Like, this was really awesome. Thanks for inviting us. And then we walked 30 steps to our next restaurant.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
It was so crazy. One of my most favorable moments, though, at Disneyland.
Yes, I forgot all about that.
You need a movie event like that.
Yes. Oh my God, I forgot all about that. Yeah, I did send you to that. You just ate so much food.
So much food, and then we had to order some jambalaya after that, to wash it down.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, hey, you gotta go finish cutting your grass.
All right.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Good luck. See
All right. See you guys. See everybody.
Oh, Mike, I won't be here next Monday.
Gotcha. So Scott, if you want to hop in with Pam and I, that'd be good if you can make it.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Bye.